March 15, 1907 was cold and grey in New York City. Inside the Foundling Hospital, the air felt even heavier. The room was crowded with nearly 30 couples, all standing quietly, dressed in their best clothes, waiting. At the front of the room stood Anna Kowalski, holding her 3-month-old son, Joseph. Her arms were tense, as if her body already knew what her mind was trying not to accept. Anna was 25 years old and already exhausted by life. Just months earlier, her husband had been killed in a factory accident, crushed by machinery that had no safety guards and no mercy. His death brought no compensation, no insurance, no protection. It only brought silence, debt, and hunger. Anna was left alone with 5 children, the youngest still an infant, and no income to support them. The landlord had been clear. Rent was overdue. Eviction was coming. There was no family to take them in, no savings to fall back on, no social safety net. Charity existed, but it was limited, selective, and humiliating. Every day Anna calculated food portions, deciding which child would eat a little more and which would go to bed hungry. She skipped meals entirely. Hunger had become familiar. Joseph was the smallest and weakest. He needed milk, warmth, and constant care. Anna knew that keeping him meant risking the lives of all 5 children. Letting him go meant breaking something inside herself that could never be repaired. The Foundling Hospital called it a placement meeting. In reality, it was poverty given a polite name. Desperate mothers brought their babies. Wealthier couples came to choose. Everyone pretended it was charity rather than survival, forcing women to surrender their children. As Anna stood there, the couples moved closer. They examined Joseph carefully. Questions followed one after another, about his health, his sleep, his family history. Anna answered quietly, without emotion. With each question, her arms tightened around Joseph, as if instinct could override reality. She felt his warmth, his breath, the weight of him against her chest. She tried to memorize everything, his face, his eyelashes, the curve of his tiny fingers. She knew that once she let go, there would be no letters, no visits, no updates. Open adoption did not exist. Once the papers were signed, Joseph would no longer be hers in any way the world recognized. One couple stood out. They were well-dressed, confident, calm. Their clothes were clean and expensive. The woman's face showed longing, not desperation. They spoke of a life filled with comfort, education, and opportunity. Everything Anna wanted for her son but could never provide. A photographer stood nearby, documenting the hospital's work. He captured the moment, Anna holding her baby, surrounded by strangers, her face frozen between love and loss. That image would become the last proof that Joseph was ever hers. Anna stood still for a long time. She imagined keeping Joseph and watching him weaken as food ran out. She imagined her other children starving beside him. Then she imagined letting him go, imagined at least one of her children growing up without hunger. Finally, her body moved even though her heart resisted. She stepped forward and placed Joseph into the woman's arms. Her hands lingered before releasing him. She signed the papers without reading them. The couple thanked her and walked away, carrying her son out of her life forever. Anna remained standing, her arms empty but still curved as if holding a baby. When the sound finally came, it was not quiet grief but a raw, broken sob. A social worker had to guide her outside because she could no longer stand. Life did not become easier after that day. Anna returned home to her 4 remaining children and worked wherever she could, cleaning houses, sewing late into the night, washing floors before dawn. She ate last, slept little, and aged quickly. Her children survived, but barely. Education ended early. Poverty shaped every part of their lives. Joseph grew up under a different name, Joseph Lawrence. He lived in a warm home, attended good schools, and never worried about food. He was told he was adopted at birth and loved deeply. For many years, that was enough. At the age of 20, he learned the truth. He learned that his adoption was not abandonment but desperation. That knowledge stayed with him. He spent the next 40 years searching for the woman who had given him life and then given him away so he could live. Anna Kowalski died in 1943 at the age of 61. Her body was worn down by years of labor and sacrifice. She never remarried. She never saw Joseph again. She carried that loss quietly for 36 years. At her funeral, a 53-year-old man appeared, well-dressed and visibly shaken. He introduced himself as Joseph Kowalski, now Joseph Lawrence. He explained that he had spent decades searching for his mother and had arrived 3 months too late. He brought with him the photograph taken at the Foundling Hospital, the image of Anna holding him, surrounded by strangers, the moment before she gave him away. He placed it beside her casket. He said she had not abandoned him. She had saved him. She had chosen unbearable grief so that all her children could survive. He spoke of his privileged life and of the hardships his siblings endured. He said he would give up everything he had for 5 minutes to tell her he understood, that he forgave her, that her sacrifice was not wasted. But time allowed no such meeting. Not every goodbye is abandonment, and not every sacrifice is visible. Sometimes the deepest love is shown through the hardest choices. Before judging someone's past, we should understand the pain and circumstances that shaped it. Some regrets last forever, and some love only becomes clear when it is already a loss. Not every goodbye is abandonment, and not every sacrifice is visible. Sometimes, the deepest love is shown through the hardest choices. Before judging someone's past, try to understand the pain and circumstances that shaped it. If stories like this move you, stay connected. Subscribe for more real human stories that history never explains, but hearts always remember.